Rob G, can you jump on the mic, because the news about Serena Williams was that this is probably going to be it in her career, and she wrote this in a Vogue magazine article. Rob G, can you update us?
Yeah, she wrote a first-person essay that was published today in Vogue. She is the cover model for this month. And in it, she, had a nice fond farewell to her career. And she mentioned that she was looking to start a family and be more present at home. And as a result, she was going to have to say goodbye to tennis. So all signs pointing to, as of now, Serena Williams retiring from tennis after the upcoming Open later this month.
Rob G, stay on the mic. And Martin, let's have a conversation, because I know what happens. People will look at an individual player like a Serena, Tiger, Woods, and think because they're not relying on anybody else, they have to do it themselves. It's all about themselves and not about a team and not about a situation, that these players often are better than team sport players. And I'm talking about like a Michael Jordan or LeBron James or a Barry Bonds, whoever it might be, or whatever sport it might be, Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, that they have to rely on other people. Where are you guys when we talk about players playing individual sports compared to team sports?
I think team sports is an entirely different animal than individual sports. Just when I think about, okay, and I don't mean to just bring this up as she's announced her retirement, and we'll get into a lot of the great things she's done.
Oh, she's done. Her resume is ridiculous.
But one of the memories that I have of Serena is when against Naomi Osaka, she wasn't able to maintain her composure. Right now, that was by her own making. Now, J.R. Smith didn't call timeout, and we saw LeBron James not being able to maintain his composure in that overtime period in Game 1 of the finals. That's not of LeBron's making, where J.R. Smith did not know the timeout situation.
The game wasn't over, though. LeBron still had
the match wasn't over for Serena either, right? The point was, but the point I'm trying to make is, when you're a team athlete, you have a whole different. You can be let down, and your teammates pick you up, or your teammates can let you down. When you're an individual sport athlete, it's going to be generally up to you whether you win or lose, and that's why I think that you have to view them differently, especially the more dominant individual athletes, because of the way that they are able to prepare every single time. It's always coming down to them.
Yeah, but I would push back and say that I still would take Michael Jordan, even an individual, because even though he had teammates, he played at that high level that it still came down to him no matter else who was on the court. It often came down to Michael Jordan as well, even though, yes, there's Scottie Pippen and Steve Kerr.
If the rest of the Chicago Bulls went 0 for 0 with 0 minutes played, Michael Jordan would have lost. That's what my point is. And you're like, I'm going to push back. That's my point.
No,
is that Michael Jordan had teammates and other teammates
makes no sense, because that's not a real game that they're going to go 0 for 0. My point is, Michael Jordan was the one driving the bus, regardless to who his teammates were. That's why you can compare him to him.
And my point is, Serena ain't got no bus.
Yeah, but that's why
Serena's got no bus.
But that's why I still could compare him to Tiger Woods and compare him to Serena Williams. Rob G, where are you on just the way you look at individual athletes? And I get what they do, and it's all about them, and I have mad respect for both Tiger and for Serena for what they've done.
I think Martin makes some good points, and I tend to agree that individual athletes, it's different because they don't have anyone else that they can rely on in certain situations. Like Michael Jordan is not 6 for 6 if he doesn't have Paxson and Kerr hitting 3-pointers or Dennis Rodman playing defense. LeBron James doesn't go to 10 finals if he doesn't have, guys hitting the open threes or playing defense. Or in this case, J.R. Smith, he might have another championship, or he might not have had the championship in Miami were it not for Ray Allen. This is what happens when you're in a team sport.
But that doesn't take away from what he has to do
not at all,
in order to get to that. My point is, that's the way the game is played.
And there's something that to be said, and I think to your point too, Rob, is to be able to elevate not just yourself, but a group of people around you is something that should be commended.
See, that's the point, is that he has to elevate other people, and sometimes it's easier just to have to push yourself, because I don't know if Scotty's in a bad mood today. I don't know if Steve Kerr ate his kale this morning and is going to be feeling good. Like I have to make sure that all these parts work together in order to win. And I think that's where the difference is in a positive way for team sports, because you have to rely on other people and you have to get everybody working together to make it work. I think it's harder than just going out and you're the most dominant golfer or the most dominant tennis player of your era and you just play.
I disagree. I think it's harder when everybody knows everything that you have to offer. And it's not only that, you're the king of the hill. Everybody's coming for you. Like every single person, or I shouldn't say every single person, but the vast majority of people throughout Serena Williams' tennis career viewed her as the person to beat. And that's just, I mean, it hasn't been the case. Like, is anybody with a 20-year hold on the NBA? Or, you know what I'm saying, a 15-year hold on the NBA besides, like, LeBron? And I know you'll say LeBron hasn't had that hold. So I was like, I would say, no, it's just when you're out there and you're the only one the same way like Tiger Woods was, like, you are the person to beat, that you're the king of the hill or queen of the hill in this case with Serena Williams. I think it's something different. And then also, too, when you look at Serena's career.
Yeah, I want you to talk about her career and what you think.
So much controversy surrounded her that had nothing to do with her. From so much controversy from other people, other writers, and the way that the predominantly white media would generally cover Serena. That's a whole nother aspect that she doesn't have anybody sitting next to her, left or right, to answer questions and to say, "Hey, stop talking about Serena like that."
Yeah, but the difference too is when you're the big dog, they still come for you anyway, and that's what LeBron. And the biggest stars, they still have to answer to people more. So nobody's going to the 12th man on the Laker bench and saying, how come you guys haven't won back-to-back games in 3 months?
But a whole bunch of people were going to Russell Westbrook and saying, what's going wrong with you? And every time you ask LeBron or AD up until maybe like the last third of the season, they said, we got to just let Russ be Russ. We got to trust in Russ. They showed vocal support for him. That opportunity never existed for Serena Williams because she didn't have teammates.
Yeah, but she has people in her camp. She has her father at the time, earlier in her career, coaching. You know what I mean? Like they're coaches, and there are other people who are part of the individual. I'm not knocking anything. What stands out the most for her to you, and how do you view her as an all-time great? Is she better than Michael Jordan in your eyes?
I separate individual sports and team sports. To me, that's like asking if apples are better than. That's like asking if apples are better than spaghetti. Like to me, it's a pointless question.
I'm not. It's not pointless, and you could take a look and say if I were to ask you, who's the greatest athlete you've ever watched? It doesn't matter. I could still say Michael Jordan more so than Tiger, and I could say it more so than Serena.
Well, I didn't grow up watching country club sports in general, like golf and tennis. So, like,
you don't appreciate them.
I'm not saying I don't. I just didn't grow up. I grew up in Louisiana. All we watched was football. And
Rob
then
G, who's the greatest athlete you've seen in your life? Martin refuses to answer.
The greatest athlete I've seen in my life was LeBron James.
Okay,
but that's my life. Like I'm 30. I'll be 33 next week.
Okay, how about you, Rob G?
I'm asking Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt. Okay, so you're into the
individual sport. Yep.
Okay, and that would be it.
But I'll say this: the thing that I take away from Serena's retirement and reading this Vogue article, it's the idea of when she's stepping away. I can really appreciate this. And I think, like she says, she wasn't ready to win Wimbledon this year and doesn't know if she'll ever be ready to win New York. Like, she doesn't know if she'll be able to win. She's going to try. The lead-ups will be fun. And it would be great if this fantasy that she was able to pass Margaret Court and tie her and pass her and all this stuff. But ultimately, if she, as a competitor, feels that she may not be able to go out and dominate and play at the same level that she could, I, for one, am fine with athletes taking that time and saying, it's time for me to step away while I still can and start, and she already has a family, but advance my family, make my daughter an older sister. Like, I'm here for that before you don't have to die on the court, figuratively. You don't have to show the breakdown of all your athletic skills. We can remember you for your greatness before, because that's how people get remembered after it takes too long for them to go away.
I think Muhammad Ali did that. I think at the end, to watch that guy get beat to a pulp and stand and do the rope-a-dope and all that, I just thought that was like the worst way to go out, and I agree with that. I mean, it's different. But I thought Vin Scully retiring when he did 5 years ago with the Dodgers was the right thing to do. You don't have to be 95 years old and fall out in the press box, you know what I mean, in order to establish yourself. He had a great run, 67 years, and then said, okay, I'm good. And they even asked him to come back Martin in 2020 to do the World Series, do the broadcast, and he refused, which was right. He was like, I'm not doing it anymore. Let the guys who do the team cover the team, and let them do it. And I agree with that. I think that takes a big man to do that.
And I chastise no athlete for stepping out of competition if your head's not right, if your body's not right, especially like if you get there and you're in the middle of it and you say, hey, wait a second, that's one thing. But if you bow out well before it even starts, you say, hey, I'm not going to be ready for this. I'm not going to be able to compete with this. Like, that's how you go get hurt. And she's literally saying in the article that she wrote, in the piece that she wrote, she's like, yo, my heart is not in this in the same way, even though I still love it. And that is a challenge that I'm having to balance.
Your heart has to be in it.
But she's like, I have different things that I love. I have a husband. I have a daughter. And beforehand, she said she never thought about having kids because she was hyper. And I think we, as lay people, maybe do not have the ability to even understand how much intense focus and how much dedication you have to be the best at something. And what she admittedly was.